Welcome, I'm Mercurial Mercenaries for the first in an occasional series of videos called What I'm Listening to in Dakar. Not Dakar the place, there's a place called Dakar, isn't there? In the car. What, W-O-T, I am listening to in Dakar. Slayer's 1988 album, South of Heaven, their fourth album, the follow-up to Rain and Blood. I want to talk about, for the next 10 minutes, what I think about South of Heaven. The album opens with the title track. And it's an iconic guitar riff, and I do like this guitar riff. But if you compare it to, say, Shine On You Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd, those iconic notes, bow, 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 which just sound like the whole of the earth and the heavens, all united as one and getting you to your heart. South of Heaven, funny enough, for an album that is south of heaven, hell direction, that iconic guitar riff sounds quite small. Whereas Dave Gilmour loaded a room up with amplifiers and played them at their full volume, so those notes, bow, 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 were deafening. South of Heaven just sounds like it's played on one of those little cigarette amplifiers you can get, cigarette packet amplifiers, or like a pig nose or something. Let's just play the riff. It doesn't help that I've never played this riff before, so I've just had to make it up on the spur of the moment. And also, I don't know if you can see that, I'm not sticking my finger up at you, but I've just been playing Ninja Savior, kind of button bashing, side-scrolling beat 'em up. Not a good thing to do when you're about to play the guitar. This is the first time I've touched a guitar in a long time. Not sexually. But the opening riff, remember, always do this. Always put a book under the foot that supports the leg that supports the guitar. Preferably something big, like Bravo 20 by Andy McNabb, something like that. I'll go with Lead Child, Make Me, and Linda Fairstein, The Bone Vault. Something like that. And there's a way of playing guitar when you can put an amp in a room and mic the amp and only hear the sound of the amp. That's very different to the sound you hear in the control room, in the studio, if you're just playing along. And I can imagine sitting in a studio, in the control room, next to the mixing desk, with Rick Rubin sitting next to me, and just sitting comfortably, he's probably lying down, I'm sitting upright, just playing that riff. And the difference is, when you're in the room, you can hear the sound of the strings being plucked. And to me, that's what I hear at the beginning of South of Heaven. That's what makes it sound a little bit small. I can hear the sound of the electric guitar like it's being played next to me by someone playing through a little practice amp. So, let's play that riff, and we'll do it with and without the sound of the guitar in the room. We'll do it by moving the microphone to the guitar, all right? Now, am I saying this is a positive or a negative? Well, it goes round and round in the car. And every time I hear it, for such a hellish, nasty, great opening riff for an album, I think every time, oh, it sounds a bit small. Sounds like the devil's playing a ukulele. The devil's ukulele. The devil's banjo. The devil's banjo. What I also don't like much about the opening riff, and I must admit it sounds great, but if you're a musician and you're learning guitar, one of the very first things you do, because it's so easy, is play harmonics. So you'll go to the 5th fret, and rather than press the string down against the fret, you just touch the string lightly and hit it. And that gives you, if you're playing the second highest string at the 5th fret, that noise there. That's a harmonic. And if you play the highest string at the 5th fret, and those two easiest of all harmonics are the notes that Slayer choose to put over that riff. Ba-dum bam 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 ba-dum 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 bam ba-dum 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 bam. Anyway, that's the opening of the album. It's iconic. I do like it. I just wanted to put a critical spin on it. South of Heaven, as an album, instrumentally, it's technically precise. And what I find driving around in the car, listening to the album again and again, is that albums become a series of moments that you look forward to. And on this album, there's plenty of moments to look forward to. At the end of South of Heaven, going into Silent Scream, the guitar notes just hold. They sound like a chime of a church bell, and they hold and they hold. And you drive, and the notes engulf your brain, and we're into Silent Scream, perhaps the best song on the album, although Ghost of War, on the 1,000 to 1,500th time of listening to the album, is definitely growing on me as a contender for best song. One thing that needs to be commented on as regards to the album as a whole is the incredible drumming by Dave Lombardo. Yeah, the drumming on Rain and Blood was great, it was fast, but the drumming here, as I said, it's technically precise, but it is a tour de force. But the fact he's doing those allegedly unnecessary fills during every bit of every song means even the lesser songs have something about them that makes you avoid pressing the skip button. I have never skipped any song on South of Heaven. Even the song I don't like. Oh yeah, the song I don't like. Behind the Crooked Cross. You guys know that I think every album could probably be improved by just removing a song. Every single album, even the classic albums. This album could be improved by deleting Behind the Crooked Cross. This is the only point on the whole album where Dave Lombardo and the guitars and bass just seem out of step. The opening section with the chugging Iron Maiden tail gunner guitars. The boom, ba, boom, ba, boom. All it's doing is bass drum snare, bass drum snare. The timing, just even after 2,000 listens, when that bit comes on, I'm like, it's just not quite right. Rick Rubin needed to have lifted his head from his pillow at that point in time. And then the guitars start chugging a Live and Let Die riff. It doesn't work. But the main problem with the song is Tom Araya's vocals. He sounds like he's singing for The Offspring, some sort of late 90s punk thing. It doesn't work at all for me. I really, really don't like him doing that style of singing. But then, like I touched on before, Dave Lombardo plays some of the best drumming on the album, does some immaculate fills around the kit during every single second of this song. So, no, I'll listen to it. I will listen to the worst song on the album 2,000 times. Then we have Mandatory Suicide. Now, the thing I look forward to as I'm driving, and this is one of the highlights of the album for me, is the way Dave Lombardo plays the cymbal, the ride or crash or whatever it is, the ride. Let's just call it the ride. So you got a riff that goes bam 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 bam, and Dave Lombardo goes like this. This is so interesting. I pick up on this, and this does that and that and that as I'm driving. It's all about whether the ride cymbal is on the beat or off the beat. It only happens at the very beginning, and you've got 4 ride hits, then 2 ride hits, 4 ride hits, then 2 ride hits. This is what I look forward to as I'm sitting in the traffic. Dun 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 dun. Just that. Holy shit. Mana from Heaven, South of Heaven. Ghosts of War. I could really do without that cliched, have the band play, but filter it so it sounds like it's in the next room, and then open it out so it's in your face. It does sound good, and it's certainly something that I kind of... Do I look forward to it? If I'm going to say I look forward to it when I'm driving, then it's probably a good thing. Do I look forward to it? No, every time it happens, I think, I wish you hadn't done that. As we get towards the end of the album, we've got Cleanse the Soul, more incredible Dave Lombardo drumming, and this song for me is the nearest thing we've got on the album to Rain in Blood. And then we go into a cover on South of Heaven, a Judas Priest song, Dissident Aggressor. A great song. I'm sounding like a broken record now. Bearing in mind I can't have a record player in a car. Dave Lombardo's drumming, again, it just mwah. On this one, Tom Araya's vocals are somewhat wayward. He's not pitch perfect, far from it. But there's something about listening to a real vocal and a performance that wasn't perfect, that has been put on record and captured forever, that just warms my cockles. I quite like in this song the way that the guitars now ape what Rob Halford originally did on the vocals. Stab! Ah! Fight! Ah! That ah! It's like the guys in Slayer went, screw that, on the guitar instead. Don't blame them. Then we have the final track, Spill the Blood, and the obligatory acoustic guitar intro. Ominous. Wow, 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 wow. Thunder and lightning, bats flapping. Wow, 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 wow. And then a guitar riff that reminds me of My Michelle by Guns N' Roses. And some absolutely ridiculous drumming by Lombardo. The sort of drumming where you want to lick the wallpaper and hope it's Willy Wonka wallpaper. Chicken drumsticks. Chicken drumsticks. And then Tom Araya does that Offspring type vocal again. Still not keen, but this time it ties in with an incredible little guitar riff. It's that guitar bit that goes throughout the song. It's just it makes up for the and then the album ends fittingly with Dave Lombardo going around the toms with some reverb applied to them, because this is a very dry album, but just at the very end we get a little bit of booming thunder, and with that it's all over. Driving around in the car, an album becomes more a collection of sounds, a collection of moments, like I said earlier. There will be lyrical themes here, there'll be themes of abortion or whatever, but this is very much a parental advisory album. Slayer exploring the darker sides of life, but you'd expect that from an album called South of Heaven. I like the album cover, but the album cover is something that's put into the driver's door pocket, so I can't dwell on it. The good thing about driving around listening to music is that all you can do is listen. You can't see, you can't imagine what they look like with the wristbands and the nails coming out. You can't picture the artwork, it's just the music. And South of Heaven, without Behind the Crooked Cross, would be close to a 0000, but with Behind the Crooked Cross still there. 2,300 hours! Thank you for watching. Let me know if you want more of this sort of thing, where I just put an album on in the car, listen to it for a couple of months and then get back to you. Thank you very much. If you liked this, do that. If you didn't like it, do that. Subscribe, don't subscribe. Okay. Over and